Hi everyone, welcome to episode 41 of Mother Industrialist live show where we talk about entrepreneurship, parenting, and life. I am Kenneth Chu, the host and also the author of Mother Industrialist. Over here is my book, Mother Industrialist, where we talk about how to perfectly balance motherhood and business success. And in my book, I've interviewed 15 mompreneurs that I personally know in the past 10 years and have shared their inspiring story in the book. At the same time, I also share with the readers that you can start your business, you can kickstart your business by applying the 3 P's, which is the 3 pillars, which is passion, purpose, and profit. So today I have really this special guest that I've met. She's an author, and I would say today's topic basically will gel with a lot of people because last week on the Friday, I've attended this seminar. It's called National Achiever Congress, and in this congress, there's a lot of top-notch speakers and entrepreneurs at the same time. They are very successful, and they talk about what we are going to talk about today. To be an entrepreneur, to be that unique one, to be that one that changed the world. And today I have this special guest. She's a friend of mine. She's a big sister. I would say I've learned a lot of things from her. She's really inspiring. She's the author of Women of Courage, Breaking the Fear Barrier. She's a courage coach. She's a mother of 2 teenagers. She also a founder of a social enterprise, Class Living, and Connecting Mother Support Group. So without further ado, let us welcome Lilian. Hi Lilian, welcome. Welcome. Thanks for making time.
Hi.
Good. Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
hello. Yes, hi everyone.
Thanks for coming on to my live show and also accepting the interview. Really blessed to have you finally onto the show. I know you have been really busy with your new book, and I've been following you, been seeing you traveling around, giving talk and share about your book. So before we start, before we officially kickstart with the show, there's a tradition which every guest get to answer the question of the day by the previous guest before we can officially kickstart the show. So are you ready with the question of the day before we kickstart with the show?
Yeah, I must be ready.
Yes, always ready. So the question of the day posted by the previous guest is, what motivates you every day? Okay, got it?
What motivates me every day?
Yes. So I repeat again, the question of the day is, what motivates you every day? So give some time to think about it while I go onto Facebook Live to see if we are live successfully and if our audio are good to go. Okay?
Okay.
Then I'll come
Right.
back to you.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, let me see. Okay, now we're live. Okay, I can hear myself. Okay, now waiting for your. Okay, good. I can hear you loud and clear. Okay, so Lillian, are you ready with your answer to the question of the day so that we can officially kickstart the show?
Yes, sure.
Okay, share it with us.
Okay. What motivates me every day? I think there are basically 2 things. Yeah. One is my children. I think seeing them, waking up every day, seeing them, really motivates me to, live. And that leads to the second motivation is to lead a life, living a life of courage, purpose, and freedom.
Hmm.
So I think because I want to live out my life purpose. I think that's the most important thing. I don't want to miss out on living out the life that God has designed for me. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Thanks for sharing and thanks for answering the question of the day. And now we can officially kickstart with the show. So Lillian, maybe
Okay.
yes, finally. So maybe you can do a short introduction of yourself to share with us to let the audience to let them know more about you. Maybe you can share with us what were you doing prior to you starting your business, setting up your business, and also what's your background like, and where are you from?
Okay. First of all, I'm Lilian Ong. I'm a mother of two teenagers. My boy is 18. My girl is 16.
Wow.
Yeah. I was
You don't look like
thank you.
you look like one that has two teenagers.
Yeah, I married young, so yes. So that's how I can look young and yet have teenagers. Yeah.
Okay.
And prior to starting my own business, I actually was in the real estate industry.
Mm.
So yeah, I was in the real estate industry doing a spectrum of the different roles in the real estate before I actually decided to become a stay-at-home mom full time. Yeah, and that lasted for full time for 7 years
Wow.
before an opportunity came along um, to start a interior decoration business.
Mm.
It is a trade that I have no experience
Yeah.
because real estate, although is somehow related to interior decoration, but it is different. Yeah, I'm not trained as an interior designer nor a
Mm.
decorator. Yeah, I don't even know how to start a bit. I don't even know how to start a business.
Mm.
Yeah, so that I really struggled to actually step out. Yeah, and I grow the business from ground zero, from scratch. And 9 years later, I actually exit. It was actually last year,
Mm.
2017. Yeah, so I sold it to an interior designer. Um, and to venture into to work on my book, Women of
Yes.
Courage, Breaking the Fear Barrier, and also to continue my desire to do social good. So I also set up Class Living, an
Mm.
online e-store to help people with special needs or individual stay-at-home moms who would
Mm.
like to put up their creative on online for sale. Yeah.
Wow.
So, and also, yes, venturing into the online world. Yeah, that's my so far my journey. Yes.
Wow, that is very very straightforward and very very clean. And I'm just curious because you talk about real estate, you were in there doing corporate work or you were doing like sales?
I actually tried various things. So straight after uni, oh, in fact, after poly,
Hmm.
I worked first. I was working in the Inland Revenue, IRAS, Inland Revenue,
Okay.
doing valuation. And during that time, I also did long distance study in
Hmm.
real estate. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So I work and I study in the evening for my
Hmm.
degree.
Hmm.
Yeah. So after that, I went into I did some property management roles as well.
Hmm.
Oh, in fact, sorry, backtrack. After my diploma, I actually worked with a developer.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was doing property management. Yeah, then actually I took a break 1 year to stay overseas with my husband.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, he was doing his degree.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and then yeah, so then coming back, I did my degree.
Hmm.
So I was working in IRAS doing valuation. And then after that, I was sort of headhunted by my ex-boss
Hmm.
to go into real estate agency,
Hmm.
so sales and marketing. So supporting her to build up a team and also do project launches, those new
Hmm.
project
Yeah.
launches. Yeah. So yeah, that the last area that I was in was a real estate agency, sales and marketing,
Hmm.
before I quit my job and become a full-time mom.
Okay. So
Mm.
when you became a full-time mom,
Mm.
were your first child born back then? Is it
Yeah,
because
it
you're
was it was because of my child, because of my
oh,
firstborn. I didn't quit immediately because he actually had very bad eczema.
hmm,
Yes, very very bad eczema, and I at the same time was going through postnatal blue depression.
oh, yeah,
Yeah, so I was like really struggling with my own depression. And my son, he was only a month old, but his
hmm,
whole body from scalp to toes were infested with rashes.
wow,
Yeah, so seeing an infant,
hmm,
crying for hours, and I mean, I couldn't help him much. I sent him to all the doctors and tried every kind of recommendation by good intention people with good intention, but nothing works. So and I had separation anxiety. Every time I leave home for work, you know I'm the one who is crying. Yeah, I made that decision to take care of him full time. Yeah.
So was it better? That means because you were saying that you had this postnatal depression, and by leaving your job and being a full-time mom, does it help?
mm, it was a roller coaster ride, I must say. Yeah, I mean, letting go of the job was, letting go of one stress of my mind. Yeah, because before I let go of the job, I was like struggling with more items, right? More things on the plate.
Yeah.
So I made the decision to let go of one with a lesser lesser items on the plate to juggle with. Yeah, but it was still very challenging because I didn't acknowledge that I was in depression.
In
That
fact,
was
you won't know because if you are in depression, you won't even know that you are in until something struck you and then you just realize that hey, something is not right.
Yeah, I realized it when I had thoughts of like throwing my baby against the wall or like out of the window or even throw myself out of the window.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like,
Suicidal thoughts.
why am I having this kind of thoughts, But I'm just thankful that I didn't act it out. Yeah. Mm.
And because for me, I do not know whether I shared with you. I had gone through depression because of one of my higher paying job, and I I I hear I can understand at the point of time you don't even know that you are in until but you are really really blessed that you were aware that you had that thought and that action or that thought really woke you up. For me is basically I woke up by my daughter one day. She just came to me and say, Papa, how come you stop talking to me? Because I basically don't feel like talking. I don't feel encouraged. I don't feel supported. Like really a lot of things because of work, because of office politics. I couldn't really concentrate. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I just enclosed myself. And being a bubbly person, being an extrovert, is really unlike me. I didn't even realize it until she said that and it just woke me up. So for you, I would say you are really, really blessed that you have that awareness that you have that thought and you do something about it, which I believe that a lot of mothers out there after they gave birth, they will not be able to be aware, and sometimes their spouse may not be aware that they are in that depression. So how would you say that what are the signs and symptoms that you had that open up?
Yeah, actually, the awareness didn't come straight away. Yeah, I also went through a roller coaster of, especially my temper, and I'm actually by nature introvert, so I have no problem being quiet. Don't talk and all that. So it was very easy for me to slip into silence. Yeah, and but I had that habit of suppressing everything inside. So when it exploded, that was like, by the time it exploded, it was quite bad. So I mean, even when I'm young, when I am angry and all the anger start bubbling up, I will start slamming the door. I won't speak, I won't voice out. Yeah, but I will just release it in other ways or just cry. Yeah. So I was very weepy, and during the postnatal blue, every little thing I will cry. Yeah, I would just cry, and seeing my baby with rashes, I will cry. If things are not, I became a hygiene freak. Yeah, I was so paranoid with cleanliness and it was the firstborn, and because of his rashes, I became so particular about hygiene that it's really very extreme. Yeah, and I see myself mopping the floor with Dettol and hot water.
Wow.
I will wash my children's clothes, my boys' clothes with hot water, 40 degrees Celsius and above.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like must make sure it's with the dryer. I don't sun it. I don't hang it in the sun. I must make sure that it dries, because seeing all the dust and
Just freak you
trapped
out.
in the filter, that gives me the assurance that okay, it's clean enough. Yeah, and of course, a lot of cry. For me, I realized that I cry a lot. I guess it's also, I'm so used to suppressing everything inside. So this episode actually like caused me to react that way. Yeah.
So because all these are because after giving birth, the hormonal changes and all that, even
Mm,
even the mother themselves, they don't even realize that it's that. Especially for those who are not aware that there will be body changes, there will be hormonal changes, there will be emotional changes at the same time. Even your character, personality will change. It's not
mm,
because something is not right, because it's because of the hormonal changes that's within the body. And why I can say that, because I was working for Motherhood magazine 10 years ago, and I was consuming content so that I can able to talk to my clients and say, hey, this month we are talking about prenatal, then your stretch mark cream can come in. So things like that. So for me to be a better salesperson, to or maybe to help my clients to within their message or within their product, I need to consume all this content. So I was aware of the pre and postnatal depression and
mm,
the signs and all that. So I like for my wife had that also. So I would say the family support, especially the spouse support, will be very important, because there are husbands that do not really understand what is
mm,
happening. They say, why suddenly you got so agitated, why you get so paranoid, why are you so protective, why are you this, why are you that? Because they will find out why are you so obsessed in, or maybe have this separation anxiety. A lot of men, a lot of husbands will not be able to understand, because
mm,
you were not like that and suddenly you became like that. They will feel that it's all because of baby, but they do not know that all this is because of the hormonal changes. Because men don't have this type of, like, men don't give birth, men won't have these hormonal changes, although they always say that men have PMS and all that stuff, like once a month stuff. But it's not that kind of drastic change. So I totally understand, and I would urge for those mommy who are listening or watching the show, do watch out and do find out more about this, especially if you are expecting your first child and you're going to give birth soon. So do be prepared, and also maybe seek seek help during that point of time, and even get support. And that also brings us to our topic of the day, which is how to go from living in fear to awakening with courage. Like for Lillian, just
mm,
now you shared from a stay-at-home mom.
mm.
So I mean, if you were in corporate, you were in a job working, and because of your child, you took that courage to really become a stay-at-home mom, and also to um to depend. That means from dual income become a single income. That is courage also, because for you to really give up, I would say that it's pretty quite well paid job for you to really move into full time mom, and a lot of burden goes to one, that means your spouse, and you're taking care of your children at the same time. So what was um, that courage that allows you to break from all your break from your job and move into full time, being a full time mom, stay at home mom?
Yeah, I think I have to backtrack a bit, as in like just now you mentioned support and
Mm,
spouse, right?
yep.
Yeah, I'm very blessed that my husband is very supportive. But because I went through the pregnancy alone, the first
Mm,
pregnancy alone, because he was overseas training. So I went through the entire pregnancy alone here in Singapore while he's away.
mm,
So unknowingly, resentment builds up inside.
yep.
Yeah, so I didn't know that I had a lot of resentment. So every time when he comes back, when he only came back the last week before the delivery of the
Mm,
baby. Yeah, and then since that, I mean, his work requires him to travel a lot, so most of the time he's not around. And when he's around, he did his best to help out with the housework and all that. But all
mm,
that is was blind to me,
yep.
was invisible to me, because I
Mm-hmm.
was blind to that with all the resentment. So
Mm,
I will always find fault like why is he not around? Why is he not, it revolves around why is he always not around. So and it affected my confidence as well, because I gave up my job and I was pretty independent,
Yeah.
yeah.
Before
So
that,
I was earning a decent income, and to give up all that without income was really something that I have to reconcile with.
Yep.
Yeah. And having, although my husband, of course, he doesn't mind splurging on me, or provide for the family and all that, but somehow it's just this myself. It's about yourself. It's this ability to be independent, even financially, um, and somehow I feel the sense of losing that. Yeah. So in that process, I lost my identity as well. So I lost myself in it, because everything now is about the baby.
Yeah.
When I meet up with my girlfriends, they talk about their corporate jobs, how they're climbing up the corporate ladder, their career, And here I am talking about diapers, milk powders, and vomits, So, and then the body changes, and I was like, my size is like a yo-yo, So all that contributed to a loss of identity. So I was pretty lost lah. Yeah, I was very lost. I was feeling fearful about that I'm not good enough. I think a lot for me will be a lot of self-condemnation.
Yep.
That I'm not a good mother. Yeah, that I'm not able to provide, and so a lot of insecurity, because my husband. So it affected our relationship as well.
Yep.
So it came to a point where there's one time we couldn't hold a conversation for more than 3 sentences, and all hell broke loose. Yeah. So I actually sort of went through a marriage crisis as well. Yeah. So that's where you mentioned that support was very important.
Yep.
I was like a zombie, very predictable in my schedule. In the neighborhood, I was in the neighborhood, a new mom in a new neighborhood. And so there was a sister in Christ that approached me. So she knew what time I will be where, to the supermarket or the playground, or sending my kids to the preschool. Yeah. So she approached me, and that kickstart the whole process of getting out of my depression, finding back my identity. Yeah. And making that decision. It was a decision as well to receive support, because it takes courage to. People think that receiving support, to reach out and to reach out and receive support. People think that is weakness, but it's actually courage. It takes courage to receive, to admit that you do need help.
Alright.
Yeah, to acknowledge that, and that is the first step. Yeah, because I have always been very independent and putting on a very strong front. Yeah, I remember one night, I think the breakthrough moment came when I constantly have suicidal thoughts. So there was one day I was standing at the balcony of my old apartment, and the suicidal thoughts came again. So I was like going into the bedroom to like trying to take a last look of my kids. And I remember seeing them sleeping, and the stomach was like going up and down, up and down. And at that moment, the suicidal thoughts just disappear. I couldn't leave them. As a mother, I couldn't leave them. And so I went into the playroom next door, in the playroom, where I just dropped on the floor and I just started crying. It's like I just cry and cry and cry and cry. All the emotions that have been suppressing inside, and the trying to be strong, trying to put up an image, trying to make sure that everything is okay, I'm still in control, everything is fine. But it's not. Everything is not fine. Outside, I look okay. But inside me, I am collapsing. So I physically collapsed that day in the playroom, and I started crying. I do not know how long I've cried, but I know I was super, super tired after that. And the first support that I reached out was to God. And I just said 3 words. I said, God, help me. Because I don't know how to help myself anymore. I tried all sorts of ways, putting up a strong front. So I said, God, help me. And it was actually after that sister that I mentioned, she approached me. Yeah, so that kickstart
Yeah,
the whole
God
process.
answered your prayer. Yeah.
Yeah, it God sent I mean, God has always been there. It's just that
Yeah.
I'm not aware. And
Mm.
once I surrender and to make that decision to acknowledge I do have an issue here and I need help. I can't
Yeah.
go through this alone.
Mm.
So when the sister came and approached me, it was also a decision to to open up myself and
Mm.
to receive support.
Correct.
Yeah, because pride could be in the way as well.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I
And
started calling another sister in church, and then she started with me what she learned in church. And it was so divine because I was having a marriage crisis, and what she shared with me was about conflict management, how to make marriage work. I mean, how coincident can that be? I
yeah.
don't think it's
Yeah.
coincident. Yeah.
I,
So
I'm
that
I'm
kickstarted the whole process of restoration and finding back
mm.
my identity,
Yeah.
finding back the courage to um to be, at least to be a, believe that I can be a good mother.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before that opportunity came along, that was the first training ground was, to finding back yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really thank Sister Lilian to really share this piece, which I find that it's really courageous for you to face it, especially now sharing it online, sharing with a lot of viewers and listeners. It's really courageous to face it and also to share it publicly. I believe that's the strength. That's really courageous of you, and also to embrace it and also to share what you have learned, how you have overcome to many people out there that you have shared on this part where we always have a strong front. Most people always have a strong front. We always want to look good. We want to show everyone that it's okay. We can manage. We are independent. We are independent women, men, or whoever
Mm,
individual. We always want to show that because I would say we show that because we do not want to trouble our loved ones to really
mm,
comes in
yeah.
to be
That's
worried
right.
about us. We always want that, which is good intention. But there are times that when we are really crushed, when we are really at rock bottom emotionally or physically, we need help. We need to ask for help. And like what you mentioned, even asking for help is courageous. It's really courage because it's like the pride is like, okay, maybe Kenneth is a man, he cannot cry, he cannot ask for help, he looks
Mm,
very good on the outside. But for me to really overcome that and really to face it really in tears and say, God really help me, or someone, or even for my wife to really help me, for a man to really maybe on his knees or even break down in tears in front of his loved one is really not easy. And to face the fact that we are just human, we are not superhero, we are not someone that is so huge. We are just basically human. We are
mm,
just a human taking the role as a parent. We do not have to put so much on ourselves. We do not have to take so much burden on ourselves because we are still learning to be a parent. We don't have to be so hard on ourselves. So I'm glad that you found the courage and also the faith with God, and also to really surrender yourself. This is also another courageous thing that I feel that a lot of people out there, they are very strong on the outside but very weak in the inside, but they do not acknowledge that, and they keep depleting themselves until one day the suicidal thought comes in, and that's it. I have friends who are very, very successful, very good on the outside, the next moment committed suicide. We were like, she has a very good family,
mm,
she has a very good career, earning a lot of money. She's supporting her whole family, even her in-laws and stuff like that. She's like the one holding everything. We think, wow, she's like a superwoman, Wonder Woman. But we never realized that everything was boiling inside. Everything she was suppressing. She feel that she's the only one. She cannot let people down. But in fact, things doesn't turn that way, and everything just go down the drain. And I'm so blessed to have you to share on this part, and also the support from family members, because a lot of times us as family members, we do not know how to support our loved ones when they are in need. Like even for myself, when I was in depression, my wife knows that I'm in depression, but she could not do anything because I was shutting myself. I was not talking to anyone. I was not at home because I was so stressed that I need to really go out, because the moment I come in is really head to head with my wife. I was also facing, I would say, some crisis, marriage crisis, because when you're not in the right state of mind, basically the people around you will be affected. They will
Mm.
be like your
Yeah.
punching bag. You keep whacking on them, and they don't feel good. And on one part they don't feel good, and on the other part they do not know how to help you. And
Mm.
some of them not knowing how to help you, some of them like, okay, that's it, I do not want to do anything. So you do not want that to happen. So I'm so glad that Lilian, you have shared this, and so far, this is something that we have to face. We have to be courageous to face that we are just a human being. We have our weaknesses. We cannot do everything on ourselves. We cannot be too hard on ourselves. Just face it. Just ask for help. Really ask for help. Be it God, be it your loved one, be it your parents even. Sometimes we have that pride of not troubling our loved ones. But if you are at that split, at that line, that anytime you will crash, better ask for help. Better look for someone that you totally trust that can help you to get out of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks, Lilian,
And
for yeah,
yeah. And I think the second point would be the power of words. The power of words.
yeah,
Yeah, is what you feed yourself, what you feed your mind, because the battlefield is in the mind. Yeah. So acknowledging, the condition that you are in, where you are, is one thing. Taking the courage to receive support and receive help is the next step. And
mm,
then feeding, because it's a process.
yeah,
The journey is it was a journey. I wasn't like overnight, oh, I'm
yes,
okay already. It was a journey, and that journey was empowered by words. By, you really want to take note of what kind of words are you feeding yourself. I mean, we
yeah,
feed ourselves physically, our body, with
yeah,
different food and all that, right? So we also want to be watchful with what we feed our mind.
yeah,
Yeah. So I remember during that process of restoration, I had a lot of post-it post-it all over the place, all over the apartment, in the
mm,
toilet, in the
yeah,
kitchen, everywhere, with scriptures and positive words to remind myself, because I
mm,
would by default slip into that negative mindset
yes,
automatically. Yeah. So out of sight, out of mind. So
mm,
I make sure that I am able to see those words everywhere in my home. And I remember when I started doing that, my husband came back one day and was like, "What is this? Why are you putting post-it everywhere? Even the washroom mirror,
mm,
I also will post something there."
yeah.
Uh, so that 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 thing that I did helped me as well. Yeah.
And that is very important, and is to have all these positive affirmation about yourself, like
Yeah.
you are a good mom, you are a good person, you are a good wife, and really you are happy, and all this positive have to come, because like you mentioned that we tend to slip into the negative part with negativity, because negativity is much stronger than positivity, because our brains are programmed, according to research, our brain are programmed to absorb negativity pretty fast. The reason, because our brain are trained to protect us from all these things. So it's like when they face any negative, they will protect ourselves. They will protect the mind. So that is really programmed. And with all this affirmation, it's really like a computer reprogramming. You just have to reprogram yourself with positive affirmation, with the positive mind that it's not the end of the world. You have a greater world outside. You are so blessed to have children. All these things you have to be grateful. The gratitude have to come in, and gratitude can beat all this negativity away because we are truly blessed. Because we are alive, we are breathing, we have our family, we have our loved ones, we have our children. It's really something that a lot of people out there will not have,
Mm.
and they will not be in a country like Singapore, stuff like that. We should be very grateful that we are what we are. Definitely we are not complete. Definitely we have more to move, and that's where being grateful, being positive will also help our loved one all around. Like I
Mm.
believe that after you do all this, gradually when you pick up yourself, everything around you get better, right?
Yeah, it's a daily routine. It's a habit now. Like,
Yes.
every day, you need to renew your mind. So the Bible
Mm,
says that we need to renew our mind. Yeah. So like you mentioned, it's very automatic that we slip into the negative. So yeah,
which is
po-
which is
the
something
power of positive words. Yeah.
correct. And words is also very important. Like the words for us to our children is also very important.
Yes.
Like, are you saying that, hey, like why you so forgetful and stuff like that? It's like they keep instilling that negativity because telling them that they're forgetful is not a good thing. But maybe use rephrasing it will be better. Even talking to
Yeah.
our spouse is also very important.
And on top of the words, that I think will lead me to the next point where is action. Yeah,
Mm,
putting things. Yeah, because like coming back to the topic about courage. I mean,
yep.
for me, is I want to be the best mom that I can be, and
Yes.
I'm learning. It's a daily training journey. So how do I teach my children courage?
Mm,
How to teach them on a theory base? No, I mean, for me, I feel the best way to teach them courage is to show them.
yes.
And for me, to show them is to live out my own dreams, live it out, live out courage, and so that they can see for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
and you, and you, talk, you put out a very strong point is a lot of parents they always talk the talk. That means they only talk, but they don't walk the talk.
mm.
Example, they will ask their children, "Hey, you need to sleep early," but they themselves are not sleeping early.
Yeah, I think we are all guilty of that.
Yeah. So when because our children basically they are children, they don't hear what we say, they see what we do.
Yeah.
So it's the same for us when we were children. We always see our parents, what they do. If they don't walk the talk, then we basically would ignore them. We don't care about them because they say, "Mommy, Daddy, you are not showing a good example.
Mm.
Then you are not doing what you tell us to do. Then why are we? Why should we do?" So we have to be role model, leading example, and to really guide them by saying all this. We know a lot of times like about health. A lot of us know that we need to eat clean, eat healthy, we need to exercise, but we are not doing all that.
I think
So,
that goes back to your why. Why
mm,
do you do what you do?
yeah,
Uh, it's because
that,
for my why, I mean,
mm,
like take for example, putting our health back in order. Just now you mentioned,
all right,
um, my body was out of shape, right?
yeah,
And you know, um, if you see in my Facebook, you can see the before and after.
yeah, you show that.
Yeah. So I didn't succeed in getting my health back in order or putting
mm,
myself back in shape. The
mm,
first attempt, because my why wasn't strong enough. I just wanted to look good lah, But
yeah,
it was the third attempt that
mm,
I succeeded, because it was a wake up call by then. I was
mm,
suffering from a very bad backache. My lumbar
mm,
4 and 5. I actually had a
wow,
disc bulge. It was so bad, so painful that I couldn't even dress myself.
mm,
Yeah, so I had to go for MRI scan, see an orthopedics, and went through months of physiotherapy. So
mm,
that was really a wake up call. And my dad was diagnosed with dementia.
mm,
So all these came as a wake up call for me, and I said, look, if I want to be around for my children,
yeah,
I must make sure that I take care of this body. This body is like deteriorating. I better do something about it. And taking up that is also another choice to take up the responsibility of your own physical body.
Correct.
Yeah. So the why was very strong, and that's how I succeeded in putting myself back in my health back in order.
Mm.
Yeah.
And you pointed out this very very important thing that throughout all my interviews, right, all the mompreneurs have been sharing on this, which is self-love and
Mm,
self-care.
mm,
Because a lot of time, as parents, even for me as a dad, often when we so-called upgraded to become parents, we always put our 101% onto our children. We want everything for them, good food, good sleep, whatever that is good for them.
mm.
But what we forgotten is ourselves.
Yep.
So that also bring me to whenever talk about this part, I will talk about this in-flight instruction. Like most of us would have taken a plane. So before the air stewardess, there will be one part they will say when the air mask drops, like in the in-flight instruction, they will say
Mm,
when the air mask drop, if you have a child, put an
mm.
air mask on yourself first
First.
before you attend to your child. The reason is, do you want the child to be, means if you save the child first, do you expect the child to save or maybe to carry such a big person like you, like an adult? Or do you think that you as an adult, you have more ability, capability to even to save the child later on? Is to save yourself first, give yourself oxygen, you can breathe, then you can go and save the child. If not, it's like our children. If we don't save our child, do we want our children to come back and save us? Do we want that as parents? I believe most parents will not want that to happen. That's why in order to do that, we have to take care of ourselves, we have to take care of our body, take care of our health, take
Mm,
care of our mind, take care of a lot of things of ourselves before we can attend to them. Because
mm,
with a good mind, good body, we can do a lot of things much more for our children or
mm,
even for our loved ones, even for our parents. Do you want our parents to take care of us when they are in good health? Our parents come and take care of us. They are so old, they are elderly, and they are in a better health than us, and they have to take care of us. How would you feel? Would you
mm,
want your kids to feel that? So that's where a lot of parents, especially mother, they are so hard on themselves. They keep putting themselves down. They keep giving a lot of things to our children. In the end, they lose, like you will say, the figure. I would not say it's on the physical thing. It's more on the mental. They're depleting every day by day, self-esteem, self-confidence, or even acknowledging yourself as a parent is it has to be there. You have to
mm,
be rich in that also before you can go and even take care of your children, because you will not want your children to come back and then take care of you. And that's where you pointed out getting yourself back in shape, and now you are pretty good shape, and confident, and also helping even more mothers to be more courageous. So just now you talk about like you shared with me about the self-doubt, the fear and depression, and body image. So what was that, maybe that one thing that pull you out from all this,
The one thing that pulled me
that
out
yeah,
from
pull
all
you
this.
out from all this self-doubt, fear, depression, and the body image that you feel?
Mm, I, I think it's really, I mean, no matter what, right? I mean, for my belief is
Mm,
that we are a spirit being living in a body.
mm,
We have a mind, we have emotions, we have soul. Yeah. So this physical body will perish. Yeah.
mm,
From dust we come, from dust we go, right? But our spirit will stay. We have a spirit. So
mm,
I think it was that connection with God, yeah, that really helped me to see that why am I even exist in this
mm,
world?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that God created me.
Mm, mm,
So then my question would be, why did the Creator created me for?
mm,
What is my purpose here? Like like for someone who invented the computer, who
yeah.
invented the light bulb, and all that
Correct.
technology, they all have a purpose.
Yes.
Yeah. So including myself. So um, that was that was really going back all the way to your core, to the very essence, to your
Mm.
spirit. Yeah, like why do you why am I here? Yeah,
Mm.
why am I here in this world? Why did I even exist? Why did God even created me for?
Yep.
Yeah. So having grasped that, having understanding my purpose in life, I think everything else, I have a different perspective.
Mm.
I have a very different perspective now. So some people will find that changing eating habit, the old habits, changing of old habits is very tough, very
Mm.
challenging. Again, it goes back to your why.
Yep.
So, and living out your dream, some people give up their dreams along very easily along the way, or even the very first obstacle they face, they just give up.
Yep.
I think you want to don't you know many people say you do what you love or you love what you do. Yeah.
Mm.
Um, you really want to know why you're doing what you're doing. Of course, you
Correct.
want to love what you do. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So for me, it's really understanding my relationship with God.
Yep.
Yeah. So I am first his his daughter.
Mm.
I'm first his creation. By understanding the very first reason why
Mm.
I exist,
Yep.
then the rest are different roles. I am a
Correct.
mother, I am a daughter, I'm a
Mm.
friend, I'm a sister. All these are all the different roles that
Yep.
you will learn and juggle and manage it. Yeah.
Mm.
So uh, yeah, I hope I answer your
Yeah,
question.
no, which is good because a lot of time we always don't believe that we can do, and about the purpose. Sometimes it takes something to happen and for us to realize, to understand. But I hope for those who are watching and listening, I hope that whatever we share will give you some heads up, or kind of a reminder, or like to preempt you before you reach to that stage of rock bottom or even depression, that you are aware, you are having this awareness that you are here for a reason.
Mm,
You are being created for a reason, whether you believe whatever higher power that you believe in, higher mind that you believe in. They always say the same thing, that we are here for a reason, whereas we are here for a purpose. Like we are alive is already a miracle, something that we are meant to do something even more powerful, especially in Singapore. Most of us are educated, so why not make use of this education to help those who are not educated, or help
mm,
those who are in need, rather than telling ourselves we are not good enough, we are not educated enough. But the problem is there are people who are not like us. We are very fortunate, we have a roof over. Some other people from different countries, from other countries, don't even have a roof over themselves.
mm,
So do look around, do be open. There's always a lot of things we can do as human beings, as in each and individual. It's just to find that purpose of our life. And also you touch on the why. A lot of the time we always want things on the surface. We have no motivational factor behind it. There's no driving force. And you mentioned that as parents, all most of us have our children. Why not use this driver, which is our children, to push us to be a better version of ourselves, to be able to be a good role model, not for them only, for ourselves, to tell ourselves at the end of at the end of our life, at our deathbed, to who do we want to be remembered as? Do we want to be remembered as someone who has no purpose at all, living day by day, or do we want to leave a legacy behind that would change someone's life, or even just one person's life? Do we want that, or do we want to be living a meaningless life? So that is something that someone talks to me and say, Kenneth, what do you want to be remembered of? So I hope that today, for those who are watching, really hear the message that Lilian is bringing out to all of us, is to be courageous in whatever that we are doing, and to even to break through is to have that courage, to have that faith, believe that you are meant for better, especially for parents, especially for mothers.
yeah.
Seek help. You are not alone. You have us. You have a lot of people that out there that can that can empower you to be a greater version of yourself. So time have really flies, and I really would want to get Lilian to share more on how we can break through this fear barrel and to be courageous. So maybe Lilian, you can share with us a bit about your book and what does your book covers.
Okay, I just want to add that every one of us is a unique. We are a unique contribution to this world. Whether you just do not know it yet. That's why my purpose in life is to awaken that courage and to
Mm,
ignite that power of influence in you, and that to influence yourself first, because many of us don't realize or do not acknowledge that we are a unique contribution to this world, and there's courage in us that needs to be awakened. So
mm,
which leads to why I wrote this book, because it is a compilation of 23 women, including myself, our stories, our struggles, but I draw on the essence of our lesson learned from our challenges and experience in life. So this book is really to encourage, inspire, and empower women and men out there to, to really acknowledge that and awaken the courage in them to take that very first step, because everything starts from the mind,
mm,
start from your own identity.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm also using this book now that I'm able to overcome my fears and all that, right? So coming out with this book, I use my own unique contribution to
Mm,
society, and that is to use my book and my programs, coaching programs, to raise funds for the School of Mercy, which
mm,
is located at the Thailand and Myanmar border, where there's a lot of women and children being exploited, enslaved, and
mm,
trafficked.
yeah,
So being a mother, I mean, I feel for other moms and children.
yeah.
So which is why I stand for this cause, to raise funds, to use whatever little that I have to raise funds to support
Mm,
them. So you can be empowered with my book and my programs, and at the same time support a social cause and help other women and children out there who doesn't have that who needed that help and support.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Lilian, for sharing. And maybe you can share with us how the audience and the listeners can get a copy of your book.
Oh, you can go to www.womenofcourage.asia.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I will
So
include the link. I already included the link that you can go to the website for Lilian, and also Lilian, maybe you can share with us at the same time how can the audience get connected with you.
yeah, please connect with me through Facebook, Lilian Ong, as well as like and follow my page, Lilian Ong Courage,
Hmm.
and my Instagram at Lilian Ong 73.
Hmm.
So these are the two ways that you can start connecting with me. Yeah.
Yep. And I've also included all the links that you can get connected with Lilian in the description. If you have any things, you can approach Lilian straight away directly. And also, last but not least, now we're coming out at the almost to the end of the show. And now, Lilian, it's your turn for you to post your question of the day out to the audience and
Mhm.
also to the next guest. So, are you ready with your question of the day?
Yes.
Okay, give it to us.
Yeah, my question is, what does courage and influence mean to you, and what do you do with it?
Okay, so
Hmm.
what does
Courage and
courage,
influence mean to you,
courage, courage, influence mean to you,
and what do you do with it?
and what do you do with it? Okay. So I repeat again, correct me if I'm wrong. So the question of the day posted by Lillian is, what does courage and influence means to you, and what do you do with it?
Yes.
Is it correct? Okay. So the question of the day posted by Lillian Ong were is out to the next guest and also out to the audience. For those who are watching, for those who are listening, you can post your answer in the comment section. If not, you can always reach us directly, message us, DM us. And last but not least, Lillian, any last advice for the mothers who are sitting on the fence thinking whether they should pursue their passion or they should step into entrepreneurship?
Mm, seek support. Yeah. seek support. Don't go through this journey alone. Yeah, don't go through this journey alone. I didn't go through it alone.
Yeah.
So seek support and yeah, and walk the if you there's a saying that says that if you want to go fast, you go alone, but if you want to go far, you go together in a community, in a group.
Wow, wow, that's a very good advice. And thank Lilian for making time, and thanks for sharing so many golden nuggets, and also tips on how to break the fear barrier, and also have to be courageous. And also thanks for making time, and uh, thanks for really making this sharing all your the things that you have been through really kept me really inspired, and I'm really looking forward for you to inspire more women, and also to share with them the courage that they have in them, which they do not know, which you can help them with. And also congrats on your published book. Now you're a published author, and
Yay.
I'm very excited for you, and see that you have been moving and women of courage. So last but not least, Kenneth here signing off with Lilian Ong. Thanks for watching Mother Industrialist live show. And if you want to find out more about Mother Industrialist, there's a link below that you can also grab a copy of Mother Industrialist to find out how you can kickstart your business by applying the 3 Ps. So Kenneth here signing off with Lilian once again. Thanks Lilian, and thanks for everyone who's watching, for listening, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you everyone. Thanks
Thank
Lilian. Thank
you.
you. See you. Bye
Bye.
bye.